Hey everyone, this is NHL News Reports. We're back in the video, and today we're talking about the Montreal Canadiens. Yes, my favorite team. Haven't really talked about them, what they got in store for next season. Yes, I'll be doing a season preview for every single NHL team. That's my goal. I hope I can do that. At least most of them would be nice, because it's just a lot of fun to do season previews and get started for the next season, knowing that most of the free agents are gone. Even though it's a weak free agent class, most of them are done. And yeah, so we'll see what happens with the other free agents that are left. But I like to talk about the Montreal Canadiens because basically they're done, I would say. Yeah, so let's get into it. I did go to Montreal, the Bell Center, took a tour of the Bell Center in the summer some weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun to take a tour of Montreal and the Bell Center. The Bell Center is so cool. If you've never been to it, definitely recommend just taking a tour. Even if it's not a game, just a tour is so worth it. Everything's bigger and better for this NHL arena. Even though it was built in '93, after the Cup in '93, last time a Canadian team had ever won the Stanley Cup / the Montreal Canadiens, right? And the last time, well, actually, the Habs did get to the finals in the Bell Center in 2021, the first time ever in the Bell Center, which was really cool. But besides the Bell Center, how cool it is, they are putting a new Jumbotron, not this coming year, the year after, the reinforcing the roof to see if they can do it. So that's pretty cool. But getting on now to the Montreal Canadiens and the next season here, going into the 2023-2024 season. What do we expect from this Montreal Canadiens team? Well, I'll get into it, talk about the draft picks too. So why don't we just get into draft picks also? So they have to put Carey Price on LTIR, which they will be doing. He's the only one to be going on LTIR, if I am right. Yes. We don't have Shea Weber or was it the trade deadline? We traded him, right? So he's gone. Paul Byron, he finished up his contract. He's gone. Those are the LTR guys that we had. Carey Price is the one remaining. Buyout history. Carl Alsner, yes, we're still paying him $833,000 last year remaining on the contract. We did trade Joe Edmondson this summer. We retained 1.75. We retained 50% of it for the last year. We'll take that last year. We're just going to retain it. Why not? No problem with that. Guys like on the injury reserve from last year, Caulfield, Monahan, Slavkovsky, and Jacky will be coming back, should be ready. The only guy who won't be ready for the start of the season is Christian Dvorak. He's out. I don't know what they said he had a problem with. I forgot. If you know, just let me know in the comments below, but I forgot exactly what they said. But those guys should be ready for training camps the start of the season. Now let's get into the I do want to talk about the draft picks. 2024, we have our own first round pick. Second round pick. Alright, we don't have our own second round pick. We have the Avalanche second round pick. Third round, we have our own in Minnesota's. Fourth round pick, we have our own. Fifth round pick, we have our own and the Sharks. Sixth round pick is the Habs, only one. Seventh round pick, we have our own, the Oilers, and the Capitals. So that's what we have. Pretty cool. And in 2025, the Habs do have Calgary's first round pick. The conditions on that is pretty crazy. But it is not, I believe it's not protected. So, if I'm right about that, I forgot how it goes. But, and everything else, the Habs have their own picks afterwards, 2025, 2026. So, pretty cool what we have here. They just signed Lucas Condada. They also signed Nicholas Baudin. Two guys who play in the Laval Rocket next year. Probably get some time. Maybe get some time if there's some injuries. Call them up for sure. Obviously, Raphael Harvey-Pinard signed a new contract. Alex Newhook just signed a new contract, 4 years at $2.9 million. Michael Pozzetta signed a 2-year deal for $812K. Who else signed a contract on defense? No one on defense. Obviously, um, Cole Caulfield signed a new contract, right? There's Cole Caulfield at a $7.85 million. What a great deal that is for 8 years. Beautiful contract that is. Monahan signed a contract for 1.985. Those are the guys we signed. Just to put out here next year, just to get out of the UFA signings and all that. Next year, Hoffman will be a UFA at 4.5. Hopefully, we can trade him by the deadline. I'm sure we'll get like a 5th round pick 6 or something like that. Just get rid of his cap hit. Probably 50% retained. Who cares? But the year after, it'll be gone at 4.5. Also, Ren Petlick, he'll be UFA at 1.1 million. Last year was not the best year. The year before, when he was picked off of waivers, he was really good. Loved how he played. Hopefully, he has a bounce back year. Also, OFA side of things, Justin Barron, the 21-year-old right shot defenseman, great skating ability, great shot. He is going to be an RFA, and Chris Weidman will be an RFA. UFA, my bad. Chris Weidman would be a UFA. He'll probably be gone, if not, a league minimum and, Habs or Laval maybe. We'll see how things go. And then most important one that he wants to stay with the Habs, and that is Samuel Montembeault. Samuel Montembeault is a fantastic, becoming this fantastic goalie. Sorry, my bad. This year he'll really prove that he is the number one guy. He did play, or he did get coached by Carey Price a little during this summer, which is really nice to see. Also, he played in the World Juniors. Is it World Juniors? World Championship, something like that for Canada. Played really solid. I didn't watch any of the games, but I saw that he was solid. Saw some of his saves he made, and his game was pretty solid there for sure. Good to see. Really promising for this upcoming year. He is 26. He is a UFA, but he does want to stay with the Habs. The Habs did draft some goalies, Cam Fallow and some other goalies, 2 other goalies this past draft. So, what do you think about the Habs here? Let's just talk about the forward depth now. Nick Suzuki, Brendan Gallagher, Josh Anderson, Mike Hoffman, Christian Dvorak, Yoel Amir, Kirby Dach, Alex Newhook, Jake Evans, Rem Pitlick, Raphael Harvey-Pinard, and Michael Pezzetta, along with Cole Caulfield, Sean Monahan, Uri Slafkovsky, and Aubrey Jackeye. Well, Aubrey Jackeye is a defenseman. I should keep that one off the board at the moment. So, those are a lot of forwards to think about. Will there still be a trade from here into the season? Possible. Because there's a lot of... It's going to be tough for players to make an opening. But let's look at the forward depth for Laval here for the AHL. Philip Michaud, can he make it? Can Sean Farrell do it? Emil Heineman, Owen Beck, Riley Kidney, Joshua Waugh, guys like that, Jesse Lyonen, definitely interesting. Guys like that could crack the Habs roster. Jan Misak, maybe he's still working. I think another year would be good for him, the Laval Rocket. But definitely, I could see Heineman. Heineman had an excellent, I know he played the SHL, came over to the AHL, end of the season, had like 7 points in 9 games. Really impressed with him. He has a great shot. They got him the Toffoli trade. Really cool to see here. Sean Farrell, another interesting guy for sure. Philip Michaud, we'll see how these guys do. Definitely guys that the Habs could have cracked the roster. And guys that could be put on waivers because these guys make the roster could be like Yoel Amir, Ren Pitlick. So Amir, Pitlick, Hoffman, guys like that could be put on waivers if guys like Heineman, like I said, Michaud and Waugh, and guys like that make the NHL or the opening day lineup. So we'll see what happens with the Habs. The Habs are interesting here. The log jam here on forward depth. But they can have someone make it. They could put someone on waivers. Omia's not going to be picked up because obviously 3.4 for the next 2 years is just unbearable for any team. Hoffman, potentially, maybe there's like an LTIR situation and a guy gets injured, like Landeskog, and he's out for the rest of the year, and they could bring him on and they want to. Maybe that's a possibility, but the slim chance probably no. So yeah, that's what we have on forward depth. Really log jam. The Habs are going to be good. I know they drafted a defenseman this year and David Reinbacher, but the offense is underrated. You got Curry Dock on the power play, along with Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield shot that can get potential 40 to 50 goals this year. You're talking things like that. Hoffman shot. We'll see how that goes. Newhook, his speed, even coming into the neutral zone, bang, he's up offensive zone, he's in and he scores. Great offensive ability, gets about 30 to 38 points. Like to see around 40, 45 would be nice, to 50 would be a nice ideal thing. He is good. He'll get much more time with Marty St-Louis to be the head coach here for them. Alright, moving on to defense. They'll log jam on defense. Also, Michael Matheson, David Savard, Jordan Harris, Justin Barron, Caden Goulet, Jonathan Kovacevic, and Chris Weidman. Those are the guys that we have. So, also, Albert Jacki. I know he's on injured reserve. Also to think about for Laval, David Reinbacher, Logan Mailloux, he still has to be cleared to play for the NHL. Jaden Struble, Norlindo, Trudeau, and Bourdain. Those are guys to think about, except Bradley Keeper. I don't think he'll make it, but hey, you never know. Things happen during the season. So, Trudeau's really underrated. Norlindo, he can really work on his defensive side, even more offensively in the pro level. He's a really good puck-moving guy. Showed that in Sweden. Like, he could be the next Eero Karlsson, and then we're like, okay, come on, translate for us, you know? We're waiting for that. David Reinbacher can definitely be an interesting one. He'll probably go back to Austria. We'll see what happens. Mailloux will be an interesting one. Does he crack the Habs roster? I like to see him play in Laval, starting up just to see how he does, but he could make it. There could be some surprises for us here. So we'll see what happens. If one of those guys make it, who gets sent down? Well, young guys who going into the sophomore seasons are Jordan Harris, Justin Barron, Caden Goulet, and Albert Jacki, along with even Jonathan Kovacevic. Even though he's 26, last year was his rookie season. So Weidman could be sent down. That's the only one I can think of. Maybe Barron, if he doesn't start off good as last year. We'll see how that goes. But definitely Albert Jacki is going to be part of it. It's going to be a log jam on that defense too. But I do expect David Weinbacher to go back to Austria. Strubel's an interesting one. He was amazing in the combine. Such a big physical defenseman. Trudeau could be interesting, like I said, and Mailloux, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. On the goalie front, like we talked a little about it, Samuel Montembeault could be that number one guy this year, taking over for Jake Allen. Not a 1A, 1B situation more. This is our guy, and Allen is the backup. He is 32 at a $3.85 million deal the next 2 years. Signed that last summer. He is going to be with the Habs next 2 years. That's good assurance to see that. But who is in the pipeline here? Who do we got? We have Jacob Dobbs, who actually played for Ohio State in the NCAA last year. Pretty good there. 22-year-old. Really cool. Caden Primo, I saw him. I took a picture with him. In the AHL with Laval Rocket too. Primo, he's good in the AHL. He has struggled in the NHL. All his opportunities, he has struggled. Either the Habs were horrible on defense that night, or there was some pucks like, wow, you should have made that save. That really was a save you should have made. That's something you should have made. In the preseason, last year, we saw that like, wow, okay, he's going to get another chance. He's 23, signed a 2-year deal at $890,000. We'll see what happens for the next 2 years. But, you know, it's going to be interesting. Absolutely. So we'll see what happens with the Habs here. Habs have some guys in the pipeline like Jacob Fowler and I think Miller and another Russian goalie that they got in 2023 draft. Pretty cool. So, let's see what happens. This is NHL News Reports, and I will see you in the next video. The Habs will not make the playoffs this year, but they will be better than last year again as they improve little by little. Hopefully, a season with very little injuries. Obviously, there's going to be injuries throughout the season, but not like what happened last year, right? Horrible. But hopefully, Caulfield can play like at least 82 games, right? Just get through it. Get that 40 to 50 goals. Just show everyone that he can be the guy for the Habs for scoring. And you got Suzuki with his unbelievable playmaking, and Doc with his big structure too. So let's see what happens. I'll see you next video.